Hello, everyone. This is Faheem Jackson, and it's episode 103 of my podcast show, In the Know. This podcast is aimed at trying to guide people through the world with a variety of topics. I am also using this platform to ask questions and try my best to answer these questions with my viewpoints of the world around me. The following episode introduction speech is for the topic of today, and that introduction speech is regarding can we anticipate the end of time? If you grew up in the church like I did, then you would always hear about the end of time, or as the elders would say, the last days. And there are two views for this topic, the religious viewpoint and the scientific view. In this episode, I'll be observing both sides. But for now, I want to create the setup by giving you the introduction into what the end could possibly look like, feel like, and sound like. Because humanity has never had to be in the position to face extinction before. We have enjoyed over 250,000 years of human evolution without worrying of a catastrophic event which will wipe us out. Now, don't get me wrong, we've had some close calls, but nothing that will end us all like the dinosaurs. So enjoy this episode as I take you all through the various ways that the world could end. Yet remember, this is more geared towards a biblical perspective. Armageddon. This is the time when good and evil will come together before the judgment day. It is the final battle where a fight on the hill of Megiddo will take place. This location is in the present-day Israel known as Haifa. Now, the validity of this story is not said to be true or false, but this is the strong belief system. Let's say for the sake of this episode that Armageddon is a real-life event. Then when the time comes, who will be in the groups of people that will be fighting the evil and who are the people that are good? Because someone has to be on both sides. That is unless the good and evil is more figurative than literal. What I mean by this is the fight could be more of a spiritual fight and not a real-life war. It could be more of an internal struggle where we have to fight the evil and bring out the good in ourselves. But if this were to be a fight for real, then we would see the people of Israel battling a real world fight against the opposition. Now, who that opposition is for certain, we don't know. But how will it happen? How will it happen? Let's assume the end of times were to happen. How does it start? Well, we have to assume you will see the 5 horsemen to some degree. And these horsemen represent the steps of the end of war. The final battle, the apocalypse. You will see mothers and daughters in the streets fighting each other. And you will also start to see the fighting of fathers and sons, killing each other. There will be rampant evil and wickedness that stretch across the land. Rumors of wars will be spread across the world, as well as physical calamities. Those calamities would include fires, global floods, and other natural disasters. We're talking about the second coming of Jesus Christ to some degree. This all sounds mystical and supernatural, but these are the held beliefs. This is the time to repent for everything in your life. And with this end of time, do any of us know or supposedly understand what are some causes? Well, what would be these causes? There are a variety of causes that can lead to the end of time. The first can be something both religious and non-religious people can understand, which is the man's cause. That's right. Man has an ability to lead to the end of time. The way we fight and bomb each other can lead to the end. One bomb turns into 2, to 10, to hundreds, and there are enough firepower and bombs all over the world which have the ability to annihilate us all. Another cause for the end of times would have to be natural disasters, which is also more of a reason for the religious and non-religious people to agree further. The floods, the fires, and the hurricanes sweeping across the lands. In my lifetime, I witnessed Hurricane Katrina, which is the closest to an apocalyptic event. An entire city was flooded with people being found dead in their homes. And let's not forget tornadoes, which are widely known throughout the southern regions of America, as well as the Midwest. Well, since we're talking catastrophic, then how about the asteroids? Because this was an object which led to the demise of the dinosaurs. When will the next one strike and kill massive amounts of civilians? Which brings us to the next question. When will it all happen? If we knew the exact day and time of the end, then maybe we could anticipate the event. Could we stop this from happening? Or does humanity have enough time to save ourselves? Because personally, I know if I want to know the time and place when it all comes crashing down, what if I am alive to witness it? Yes, I know that sounds selfish, but truly want to be here when the ish hits the fan. Could be fire or water, hurricanes or tsunamis. Better yet, how about the ground quakes until we fall beneath the earth? All of the above could happen, and we don't know when. Scientific theories, which exist, we will talk about later. Because scientists have knowledge of a time frame, but most of us will be long gone by then. Now, since this topic is religious focus, the religion dictates that we don't know the time nor place of our end. Here's where I would discuss the next section, which is the place. Because there will be an end, but where will it happen? As the world begins to crumble, where will we see it disintegrate first? Because eventually we'll all feel the grunt of it all. Could America be the location, or China, Brazil, or Thailand? Maybe what's in the beginning will be in the end. So this means life originated in present day Africa, and when it all comes crashing down, this place will be the last to stand. What will God send as the sign to let people know who will feel the hurt first? Because if the world simultaneously feels the pain together, then the place where it all goes down is earth all together where you stand. Now, on the other hand, when it strikes in a specific location, then hopefully we can anticipate the next. Let's say the end of time breaks down in Asia, then moves to another. Then we give people enough time to make moves. Yet still what you end up doing is prolonging the end. So maybe people in the location that it hits first would be the lucky ones. At least they're not sitting around waiting. This sounds gloomy, yes, but the more pressing question should be why. Why is God choosing to destroy us? See, God has his reasons for why the earth has earned its spot for the end. Most religious texts speak of an end. Not every beginning must have an end. So is this the reason? Or could it be that earth may have the potential of lasting longer, but God wants to send a message to his children? Because far too long, man has caused destruction of the land, and something must take place in order for the species to see the downfall of our behavior. We need to understand that we build weapons and fight each other, which leads to our demise. So with that said, it might not even be God who destroys us. At the rate we're going, we might beat God to the punch. But I've given the people listening to our faults and human drive reason for our demise. Here's another reason why the end will happen. Humanity has to take its toll eventually. A lot of species have come and gone at no fault of their own. Sometimes living beings have to run their course, and maybe that will be our outcome. But are we ready for the end? See, none of us are truly ready for Judgment Day, especially if the judgment is on a day that we are unprepared for. Because let's think for a second, who decides when the end will come? It will be most likely a sporadic event that we don't see coming. Then again, there may be a series of events that will expose the time's ending. Anytime we see war and fighting, famine and disease, with poverty all around us, we think that the end is here. But it might take place when we're finally in a good place. Wouldn't that be something to feel bad about? You finally got some peace, and here is when the world starts to really crumble. But then again, skeptics will always come back with more to say about this topic. So this is what leads to the scientific viewpoints. Here's the point in the episode where the skeptics are going to say there's nothing to be afraid of anytime soon, because these calculations may not only put the earth in ending eons from now, but humanity will not be here by that time. The sun will envelop the earth, and eventually there will be an end to the universe as well. It will reach a time where it overextends itself, and that's it, as far as the universe. So the idea that God is trying to end the masses for their evils is a lazy and ridiculous claim. There is no higher power watching over the people. People looking to the sky for guidance just seems to be counterproductive and doesn't aid in people going in the direction they need in order to thrive and be successful. God keeps people stuck and thinking about the end of time, keeps you from living the best life in the moment. Well, if that's the scientific view, what is my view? In my opinion, thinking about the end of times will put you in a position to not be focused on life I should be living here on earth. Be in the moment. Don't think about the future, something you have no control over. Because when the end takes place, you have to now reflect. When you reflect, all you can do is think about the end you focused on when you were there at that moment. That doesn't sound like a life I would want to lead. I make the best of life on earth, and when the end takes place, it takes place. So be more focused on what you know, which is this life, and not be preoccupied with what is going on at the end of the road. So, with this end statement, what we have to know about the end of time. You know, it's funny so many people anticipate the end of time. So much so that they don't take the time out to live in the now. You have to observe what you have in front of you because that is what is important. Worrying about something you don't know nor understand the time place of just means you're wasting time. Because even if it does happen, you reflect before you die and realize you have spent your entire life doing nothing. So, thanks for listening to In the Know. I'll be bringing you another episode regarding religion. The topic will be asking the question, who is the Antichrist?